Hey folks, welcome to Yahoo Sports. I am Kevin Iole. UFC 264 on Saturday night at T-Mobile Arena, not at Apex, where you're going to have live fans in the building. I can't wait for that. And joining me right now is one of the top fighters in the world. He will be fighting in the co-main event against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Of course, I'm talking about my friend Gilbert Burns. Gilbert, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'd love to get a chance to talk to you as awesome as possible. You keep getting in these big fights, and we're going to keep doing this. So let's start here. You know, fighting Wonderboy, I was a little surprised. You come in as the underdog in this fight. You know, he is minus 165. You're plus 135. What was your take on the fact that you think it's because of his takedown defense that they have him favored over you?
I don't know. I don't know who does those odds, and but that doesn't bother me. I think you in this sport, any combat sport, you're just as good as your last fight. You know, and he looked very good on his last fight. I lost my last fight, so they kind of think they base on that a little bit, but that didn't bother me, to be honest.
You know, I want to tell this story. I read a story about you earlier today, and I thought it was funny. And I was actually at the fight, but I don't remember seeing this happen. But Wonderboy fought your good friend Vicente Luque, and you got into the cage after the fight. Why don't you pick the story up from there? What were your emotions when you got into the cage, and then what happened?
To be honest, I'm very, very, very competitive, very, very. And I know Vicente is too, and he's a kind of little brother of mine. He's a little younger than me, but I treat him as a brother. Every time that I go to Brazil, I stay at his house. Every time that I come to Florida, he stay at my house. We have a very good relationship. We share the same coach. I know his mom, I know his dad. He knows my parents too, so we're very, very close. And he lost to Wonderboy, and then I was getting pissed because he kind of knocked him down and shake his head, knock him down and shake his head. And then that was thinking, was just like, you know, I understand you're trying to be nice, but you want to knock the guy out. You want to finish the fight. You don't want to be that nice. So don't need to be all that shake hands. And I was, for sure, I was mad. I'm very happy that not happy, but I get very emotional, very angry on those situations. I think even my brother, when he lost his last fight, I was right now. I'm kind of happy that I wasn't there because I get freaking mad on those situations, and I try to control myself. I don't try to bring my brother, my fighter down at that time. But
So you went up to Wonderboy in the cage, though. So what happened when you went up to him?
so the fight was over, and I come up to Vicente and say, "Bro, how you feeling?" And he said, "Bro, I'm a little dizzy." And I'm putting ice on him and say, "Yeah, relax. We're gonna get this one back. Don't worry." And then I was giving him that little pep talk. And then after that, as soon as I was talking to him, kind of, he just lost the fight. He was kind of sad. He got a little bit beat up. And then Wonderboy came at me and like, "Oh, I'm such a big fan and this and that." And then talking to Vicente, "Yeah, you're very tough. I love you both guys." And like, I don't know. I don't know Wonderboy that very much. I cannot say if I think that. I guess that's the way it is. I don't want to say nothing, but it's not my type of competition. It's not my type of the guys that I wanted to compete. I want the guy. If the guy tried to beat me up and beat me up, like example, like my last fight, I lost to Kamara. He finished him. I stand up and I talk to the guy, shook his hand, give him a hug. That's it. I show him respect. But the way he was saying, I think it was just too much. And then Vicente was my brother. I was a little emotional, but thank God he didn't did nothing. I just shook his hand, but I was kind of looking at him and said, "I'm a huge fan." And I was just kind of looking at him, and then just like holding to trying to control my emotion. And I did control very good, but I think it's that happened because Vicente is a very close friend of mine. And that will happen too with my brother, if something happened. If the guy comes very respectful, that was a good fight. Thank you. I think that was I was expecting, but he was a little more than that. And then
Well,
I was just like,
I think the interesting thing about that for you, Gil, is the fact that Vicente and you and Wonderboy are three of the nicest guys in MMA. And so the fact that here's three really nice guys that could start a brawl after a fight, right? Which was pretty funny.
well, I will not. I don't think I will ever get to that level. But being very honest, my will was different. No, I want to do something, but I know how to control myself. I didn't do nothing stupid, but that wasn't what I was feeling back then.
You coming off, you mentioned a couple of times the loss to Kamaru Usman, but the division is really wide open. Dana has said Colby Covington's going to get the next shot. He's ranked number 1. You're ranked number 2. All of a sudden Nate Diaz pops in the picture and he's talking to Kamaru about maybe he will get in there, but you have to feel like a win over Stephen Thompson is a must, given the fact that there's so much uncertainty in the division. If you beat number 4, Stephen Thompson, you make a good case for yourself for a rematch. You lose this and it could be tough. So do you feel any pressure as a result of that going into this fight, knowing, it's not a title fight, but there's a lot of stakes behind it?
It's always pressure, There's a lot of stakes. There's a lot of opportunity. If you win, it's a big step forward. If you lose, like 2-3 steps back, especially at that level right now in the UFC. I'm number 2 in the world right now. It's number 1 doesn't want to fight. I gotta fight number 3. Number 3 doesn't want to fight. I go number 4. Number 4 doesn't, and I'm keep it going like that. And end up that Stephen Boy was the number 4, and he said yes, we're fighting. But he's a very tough opponent. But to be honest, I'm not looking past to this. I'm not looking. If I beat him, then maybe one more fight, or I'm going to the title shot.
Right.
I think I did that too much and that didn't help. I don't want to put a lot of energy on make those maths. Okay, I beat him, then maybe Leon, and maybe that, and
right.
It's too much. It's better instead of put a lot of energy on that. I'm gonna put a lot of energy on the fight, make sure I perform, because, like you said, Dana said Colby's next. Yeah, but Dana said couple months ago that he want Colby against Leon. That's the fight to make. And then Colby said no. Now Colby's next without having another fight. So I think let me make that very clear, so I don't say nothing bad about Dana. But I think you can change Dana's perspective of the next fight with a good performance.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You bring him out of the seat and he goes crazy.
Yeah. It didn't sound crazy, but I think you can change a lot of his thoughts, a lot of his plans with a great performance. And that's one thing that I want to do. I'm not thinking a lot on title shot. If they give, for sure, you always say yes for title shot, but I'm thinking on how I'm going to be Wonderboy, and I have all the source and all the trainings already done. I just got to keep staying sharp right now, make sure I'm disciplined at Saturday. And I know we can change a lot of people's perspective with the performance.
I think a lot of people look at him and they think he's going to be an easy guy to get down. He's kind of tall and lean, and not a wrestler. But I think he surprises a lot of people, certainly in his 2 fights with Tyron Woodley for the title. Woodley really spent a lot of time trying to take him down and really couldn't do it. Do you think that, how do I want to ask this question? I guess what I want to say is, do you feel like it's imperative for you to get him down, or can you win a striking battle with him if that's what it turns into?
It's a good question. I think I brought a couple of guys that make me very ready for a stand-up fight, if it has to be a stand-up. But I've been grappling a lot too. That's not a secret. I grapple a lot. I've been wrestling a lot. And I think he got the tools to beat him. I don't know if I'm saying, I think I'm going to finish him this round. I think I'm going to do that. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I think I'll be able to execute a lot of things that I've been doing in training. And I've been doing like reps over reps on the set of moves that I think if I connect those type of moves, I'll be able to take him out of there or take him down. And I believe in my ability. So I'm trying to give you that answer without giving you so much of a strategy. But I do believe he's a very puzzle that people say now. They say they a puzzle. Everybody's a puzzle, but I think he's a little different. I think that's the best thing. He's different than a lot of guys with that different style. But I've been very well prepared for this one. I'm excited.
I guess one of the things about Stephen, obviously he's got kicks and his karate background, but it seems like his footwork to me causes guys a lot of trouble. Yes. And you think, Dominic Cruz, when he was the champion, his footwork was so good. TJ Dillashaw, when he won it, had that. And there have been guys that have had that kind of footwork. How do you deal with that when that's his natural thing and that's something that you're having to add to deal with that footwork and be able to cut off the ring and do the things that are going to be required for Gilbert Burns to win the fight?
So the first thing that I did, I have to understand that style. I have to understand the concept. I'm not just going to bring a guy to do the same thing and the guy doesn't know how to explain how he does. Oh, I just do it, just bounce back here and then no. So that's why I brought Raymond Daniels. He's a freaking master. He showed me how he gets done, why he does all the concepts, and he implemented a lot of things on my game that on the beginning was very hard, but towards the end it got easier because he was there for over a month, and so I was training with him twice a day, every day, and for sure I used the minds of Raymond Daniels, then Henry Hoof, Carmen Barzini, all my coaches, Vicente Luke, experienced Daniel that was with me, and Henry on Vicente's corner. So I got all these guys, and we start solving and making a strategy, and we're using the footwork as well. That's going to be a big thing. I've been learning a lot and studying a lot and put a lot of work in on that, and I think it's going to pay it off. That camp was one of the most expensive camps I ever had. I have to invest so much. I invest so much money on the training, on the teammates, on training partners, on the recovery, on a lot of things that is paying off because I think the amount of knowledge that I've been getting on this fight is on a different level. I think first of all, I have that tremendous learning experience, losing to Kamaru, and now fighting another guy that is that totally different style. It's a lot of knowledge that I'm getting, and I'm thankful for this knowledge.
Gil, when you were in there working with those guys, was there a moment where the light went off and you realized, oh, now this is how you counteract that? I mean, did you find earlier you were getting frustrated, then all of a sudden you figured it out and had an ability where now I know how to deal with it?
Yeah, it took a little while to don't get frustrated, to get relaxed. And I know he wants me to get frustrated and march forward, even like Vicente did, like Geoff Neal, and I can name a lot of other guys that did the same, start marching forward, and then they start getting more hit. And then the guy hit you, and then he's done. He's so hard, you cannot catch the guy. Yeah, we worked a lot on those things with these guys, with my coach. And that's the key. I gotta stay disciplined against this guy. He's very, very, very good. And but I think we put so much work that we have a good game plan. And then I want to be very disciplined, very relaxed to be able to execute on my best. And if I do execute on my best, I'm getting the win.
I'm going to wrap with this, Gilbert. After you lost to Usman, it really bothered you, and you were very emotional, and you showed that in your interviews after at the press conference, and even later. I talked to you a few days afterwards. When did you come to terms with it, and when did you feel like, okay, that's in the past, and I have to focus on the future? Was there a moment in time, or was it just the passage of time that healed that wound?
Took a couple of weeks. I had to take a little time off with the family. I don't know how long it takes, but it took a couple of weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks to finally and understands the why, okay,
right.
Okay, that's what happened. That's what I did wrong. And I had to dig deep so much to see where those emotions come from, and I really had to dig deep and take the time and be with myself. We know cell phones, we know music, we know TV. We know a lot of people talking, and they asking, why did I get that angry? Why did I get too emotional? Why did they?
Right.
Because we had a strategy, and I was doing good when I was following strategy. But as soon as I hit him and then I start getting emotional, everything went out. So I had to take a little time off, dig deep in me, and ask a couple questions. Then after as soon as I get those answers, I was in peace. And today I'm very grateful for the experience. You know, even with a tough loss, I worked super extremely hard to become a champion, but it wasn't my time. And today I understand. I'm very thankful that for the lessons, you know, for the learning experience, and life goes on. Now we get to another fight, and then we roll together that title back again, the title shot again.
Everybody is excited about the fight between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, but don't sleep on that co-main event, because Wonderboy Thompson and this guy, Gilbert Burns, is going to be a good one. Gilbert, I appreciate you as always, brother. All the best to you, and we will see you, I guess, Saturday night.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a good one.
Be well.